Welcome to another edition of Business and Financial Raw Talk. I am LaWanna Bradford with the Bradford Group and principal of the Bradford Group Consulting, also known as the Connector, where I help you, big businesses and small businesses, as well as that entrepreneur, navigate through the challenges in life. I am able to find opportunities in the chaos in order so that you can achieve your goals and your vision and ultimately increase your bottom line. And I am so excited today because we have a very special guest and one of my business partners, the amazing Dr. Derashay, who will be joining us. And before I bring her on, I want to give a shout out to our sponsor today, which happens to be my company, the Bradford Group. Welcome, Dr. Derashay. How is it going?
It is going absolutely amazing. I'm so excited to be here with yourself and the Rock Top family on today. How about yourself?
I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. To those of you who are joining us on our home base at E360 TV, welcome back. And to those of you who are joining on Facebook, Roku, Apple TV, or Samsung TV, we welcome you. And Raw Talk, if you've never seen us, is a show that is designed to help expand, challenge norms, systems, and elevate us to the next level. So that's why it's called a no holds barred forum for leaders and innovators, because you never know where we're going to pivot and what we may be throwing in the ring. But I guarantee you, at the end of the day, you're going to walk away with some amazing golden nuggets. Now I want to tell you a little bit about this brilliant, bright soul that's sitting next to me. Dr. Derashay is an international mentor, coach, speaker, teacher, influencer, motivator. She is a woman who I believe is actually leading the way when it comes to bridging the gap between the nations, fostering much needed communications for women so that we can expand and elevate, and as she says, increase our impact, influence, and income around the world. She is also continuing to work with bridging the gap, not only domestically, but internationally. She's the CEO of the Kingdom Strategist firm, as well as the founder of the Kingdom Strategy University. And I have to read this lovely quote that she says. She said that a critical tool for self-development is learning how to cultivate, build, and release others to their destiny. And I think that is such a perfect springboard for this conversation. How do you define collaboration? So, Dr. Derashay, I'm going to pitch the question to you. How do you
Yeah.
define collaboration?
So let's start with just the foundation of collaboration. Collaboration is two or more people or entities coming together for a common good to complete and achieve a specific purpose, right? That is just collaboration, at its very core, Lawana. And within that desire to achieve a common goal, it must be a win-win for both parties. And so one of the things that I love about collaboration is that we have fostered the ability to collaborate and make it a win-win for everyone.
I love that. And it sounds like a very basic description, right? But notice people use the term collaborate, win-win. But at the end of the day, it seems like someone's always losing in the deal. Someone's getting the short end of the stick. This is Raw Talk, folks, so we're going to be raw and real on here. And I want to talk specifically to our women who are watching, our entrepreneurs, our solopreneurs. Why do you think, and I have my own notion, but I want to get your opinion first. Why do you think that we say that we want to collaborate? We jump into the ocean of collaboration, but we're really not swimming together.
So I love it because you said we're not swimming together. We're not swimming together because we haven't aligned. And we're not unified. And so then we say, what are some of the things that keep us from being in a place of unification on one accord, right? You got fears, you got insecurities, you got, where collaboration, even when um, the scope of it is not really defined. That could also bring some issues when it comes to collaboration. But most of the things that I have seen, it has really been out of that competition, from that competition space of fear and insecurities that have caused people not to really be able to really and truly collab and unify for a common good. And in terms, it hinders the overall effectiveness of the project. But there's so many different things that keep us from that unified space. But at the end of the day, it comes from the division that hinders the collaboration.
Well, that we could take that down another path, but we're going to stop. We're going to pause right here and sit in two things you just said: fear and insecurity, and they're kind of both under. You have the greater umbrella of fear, and then there's different drivers of fear, right?
Right.
And that's my perception, is that individuals fear that, okay, if I collaborate with this person, I see the benefit, I see the value in joining forces, I see the shared vision or mission, but somehow I think they might beat me to the finish line, right? Somehow they may get more accolades than me, or perhaps they're going to get the lion's share of whatever it is that the target is. But to our listening audience, there are 7.5 billion people in the world. 7.5 billion people in the world. Guess what? You can't service them all.
At all whatsoever. You know what? And I just want to pause right here because I want to encourage you on that end. And if you have a hindrance about collaboration, or there may be some fears about collaboration, this is one of the things that I truly believe, LaWanna, is that because hey, everybody know that we're women of faith. I'm a woman of faith. And I believe that according to the Jeremiah 29:11 plan, that God has already ordained those who I'm going to serve. And because he's already ordained them, they're just waiting for me to arrive at the right point, at the right destination, whether I'm collaborating or I'm by myself, to hear the sound so it can be activated in them that I am the one who is supposed to be serving them. And so the truth of the matter is, for those who operate out of that space in that lane, and believe that God has already preordained everything for your life, then that would also include everyone who you're supposed to serve. The other thing is, when you are authentic within yourself, when you're authentic and everybody is operating in their authentic self, you have to understand, and I'm sure I probably said it here before, that you are your value, right? What you bring to the table hold its own weight in gold, because guess what? No one could never, ever, ever hold the value or the weight that you hold in your space whatsoever, no matter if you are doing the same things. There's something slightly different that you do, which makes you very unique. And that uniqueness is what those people who God has preordained just for you is going to be looking for. And that's why they're going to choose you. Okay.
I love that. And I believe I heard you mention this on It might have been just this weekend, actually, because it was this weekend. It was at our international Celebrate You International Women's Conference, and someone asked you a particular question, and you very succinctly and in love said, you cannot compete against an original.
You can't.
And if individuals really let that seed in them and germinate, then the insecurities, the fears that you may have immediately go away, because you are you. You were divinely, uniquely imprinted, created for this appointed time.
Absolutely.
To touch lives that only you can touch. So who cares if there's 50 different strategic planners in the room and you're a strategic planner? It makes no difference. But we can also gain strength in like disciplines, right? Because I truly believe in iron sharpening iron.
Absolutely.
And I'd like us to really talk to that woman who does have that fear, who may be saying, no, I'm good, but yet proof is in the pudding. You will see the fruits. If you're truly a collaborator, there are signs that's there. You're putting the greater mission above yourself, because if that person wins, we all win.
Absolutely. First of all, I want to say to you, to that woman, first of all, I want you to clearly hear and understand that you are not designed to do it alone. And if you're really looking to excel and complete the manifestation of your call and what it is that you've been chosen to do, you're going to have to at some point trust yourself, trust God, right? And walk in your authority and form collaborative relationships, because through those collaborative relationships you're going to be able to go farther and faster. Without it, you're going to continue to find yourself in places where you're stuck, where you're walking in circles, where you are in stages of limitations. You're going to have to come into a place of understanding that it is not about you, right? It's not about you whatsoever. It's about the greater good. It's about those who need the type of services that you offer, as well as what other people offer. We all have our own light that we shine in the earth, but when we come together, we display a greater light and we're able to reach a greater capacity. And when you're looking to reach a greater capacity, you want to increase your income, your influence, and your impact. Collaboration is going to be king. Collaboration is going to be the key to that increase and that enlargement that you are looking for. Without it, you're going to continue to limit yourself, limit your mission, and also limit the amount of people that you can even actually serve.
I love that. And that was so well stated. And I just want to repeat what you said. You're not designed to do it alone. To excel in what you were designed to do, walk in your authority and in collaborative relationships. So when you're walking in that authority and that boldness and that authenticity of who you are, there is no fear. How can there be? Because you're walking in truth. So fear can't coexist where truth is dominant, right? Truth has taken dominion. And I want to share this story to our listening audience. Those of you who are joining us on Business and Financial Raw Talk, we have Dr. Derashay here with us. She is known as the Kingdom Strategist, who helps to bridge nations so that they can impact their income, influence, and income. There we go, around the world. And we're going to get a little bit more into what she's doing in her specific lane. But this conversation is about how do we define collaborative relationships. So let's tell you a little bit more about who we are. I'm a strategist. I'm a certified, trained strategist. I've been doing it over 30 years for corporate, for small businesses, for the entrepreneur. Dr. Derashay is also a strategist. And I've worked around the world with some of the top brilliant minds in strategic planning, because believe it or not, it's a male dominated role. So when I see a fellow sister in the field, I instantly gravitate to her, because there are not a lot of us out there, even though you may think there are. And I always challenge women to think that strategic planning, strategy, is not a checklist, it's a mindset. It's a way of being, it's a way of seeing, it's a way of doing, it's a way of shape shifting the environment to get you to the end goal. And with us, Dr. Derashay, and I'm going to let you take over this part of the story, tapped me on the shoulder in April and said, I have an idea. Dr. Derashay.
Yeah, I said I had an idea. Listen, we were at the Celebrate You Women of the Year award, and I happened to be one of those who was a part of the nomination for that, and it was just came in my spirit that hey, us women need to come together and collaborate with our gifts and the talents, what it is that we're doing in the world, bring it all together so that we can make a greater impact, so we can make a greater impact. And so this weekend, we had the amazing opportunity to impact lives around the world because LaWanna gave a yes. She gave a yes to the idea of coming together and doing a collaboration and hosting this international women's conference. She could have said no, right? But I believe because she owned her space, right? She owned her space, in its own right. She had a yes. She had an absolute yes, and we've worked together on this particular project. It's not the first project we worked on together, but at this scale, this is the first at this particular scale and this particular level. And listen, it was absolutely great, right? We worked together in our own space, right? In our own space, and what it is that we coexist to do, but we walked in harmony to make it happen. To make it happen, because it was so much bigger than us, right? We were putting together an international stage so that women lives could change forevermore, so they can expand in their faith, their family, and their finances. Back to you, Luana.
And I love that. When we think about actually whether it was a speaker or attendees who were represented, the US, the UK, Australia, Philippines, and Canada. Then we had individuals who were immigrants from other countries. So let me tell you the immigrant nations that were represented. You have Uganda, Somalia, and Russia that were at the table. And so, from a cultural, ethnic blend of diversity, of voices that had different perspectives and experiences all coming together to celebrate five elements of wellness: mental, physical, emotional, spiritual, and financial. I not only believe, I know that we made an impact. I know that we made a difference. And I always say, Dr. Derashay, when we change one life, you just impacted the next generation.
Absolutely.
If people can sit in that, that's pretty powerful to know that by pouring into one person who now has changed their mindset, their actions, and they're pouring into their sphere of influence, you just became a living legacy.
Yeah, you know what? Absolutely. And so you talked about the Bradford group. You know, you've been a strategist there, and I'm being a strategist at Kingdom Strategist Firm. But we also have other entities. Celebrate You, which is
Yes.
which is the women, you know, the women movement that you have, and then I have I Am Her International, you know what I'm saying, which is a women's movement as well. And here we go again, bringing the brilliance together in what it is that we do, our passion to help women, right, elevate, you know, within their lives, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, physically, financially. Here we go. And here we go again, joining together, right? We're in the common good that of what we desire to transpire in the lives of women. Why? Because we see the end of a thing, right? I
Yes.
love see recovery, begin with the end in mind. And so because we have the mindset of what our what our expected end is, then we foster these great relationships where we just come together and get what needs to be done, because what matter is our expected end.
Yes. And I want to tell individuals, sometimes you think that you're going to instantly meet up with someone, go into this collaboration, and it's going to be something on this scale. More than likely not. This is a almost 4-year relationship that's been cultivated, that's been massaged, where we have shown up and proven who we are as women, as business owners, as leaders of our respective movements. Because of that, there's a bridge of trust. Because I knew Dr. Derashay wasn't going to do anything to taint her brand, her name, her reputation. And she knew the same with me. I mean, my brand is my name, the Bradford.
Right, absolutely.
So it's. I think it's also important to be willing to have the conversations and lean in and start asking questions about what someone is doing and how you can help support them. And that's how this relationship started to build. Because if someone had told me 4 years ago, you and Derashay will ultimately be actually hosting, not just speaking on a stage, but hosting the international stage, I would have said, I don't know if I can see that, right? Because we were foreign to one another.
Right, right. You know, you're absolutely right. So, you know, that brings up a very good point. So, what are some things that you as individuals need to think about and even consider when you are doing collaborative projects, right? How do the brands align together? Brand alignment is absolutely essential, right? And not only the brand, you know, brand alignment, you want to also make sure that whoever that you're going into a collaboration with, that they have the same esteem that you uphold your brand with, that they have that same esteem for their brand. Why? Because just as LaWanna said, look, I know that she's not going to do anything to damage her brand. So, and I tell people all the time, listen, when we're working together, understand your brand is covered, because I'm going to make sure that my brand is represented in the most highest form. And so that way you don't have to worry about anything that will damage your brand or your brand reputation, because of how I esteem your brand just as well as I esteem mine at the same level, because I want to make sure that we're both covered. So you have to make sure that it's that type of win-win, that person have your brand at heart just as well as they have their brand at heart. That makes sense. You got to also make sure that even when it comes to being able to respect each other's lane, right? Trust. I want to say something very major. Trust, right? You got to, if you're going to make a collaboration work, right? You're going to have to be able to trust the other individuals that you are collaborating with. Without trust, right, you cannot build anything effectively. It's just going to cause frustration and so many other things. So I know as women, sometimes, listen, we just have to you're going to have to, that's the space where you have to trust God. If this is where God is leading you, then you're going to have to trust God, you know, as well, right? That this is going to work out, right, in your favor. So that way you can be at ease and not come into a collaborative project with the issues of whole, because that can be damaging to an amazing experience, because you came in with you're coming with prior baggage. So you want to make sure that you yourself, right, is that you have been healed and that you're in a place, right, where you're ready to move forward in a collaboration, because that makes a great difference as well. That makes a great difference as well. I think those are a few components that I think is necessary. What about you, LaWanna?
No, I agree, and I just kind of want to sit in point number three where you said the win-win. That has to be clearly discussed
Oh yeah.
because if not, then you may, as you said, step on each other's toes because you're now in each other's lane, or the selfish side of you starts to percolate, and that's never good. So now your eyes are darkened to the true mission, and now it's driven by selfish motives.
Hmm.
And this particular event that we did, I was thinking over the weekend, after it's like, we can breathe. I thought we did this. So, as Dr. Derashay said, she was seeing this as a springboard to further expand the voice and platform of the women who were recognized anyway as Women of the Month and being honored as Women of the Year contestants. And I asked myself this question. I said, what if, Dr. Derashay, all these women had said, you know what? Let's make this even bigger. Let us bring our tribes together and really set the world on fire with this international conference. But sometimes we get so caught up I'm again, this is raw talk, so we're going there. When you do enter a collaborative relationship, assess, the word says, before you build a house, you assess the cost.
Hmm.
So you want to assess what's the benefit and what's the risk.
Absolutely.
And then also ask yourself, is there any selfish motive in me for doing this? 9 times out of 10, there is. There's something you're trying to get out of it. But can you be vested in the bigger picture? That's a whole different conversation. If you can be vested in that, then what are you going to bring to the table? Because now you've put on the hat of servant leader.
Hmm.
As
Hmm.
you said, Dr. Derashay, it becomes bigger than you. So
Hmm.
now what can I bring to the table? And I remember when we wanted to have Australia represented. And we're like, what are we going to do? Well, I instantly started calling my network. Within 24 hours, Australia was at the table, right?
Absolutely.
What you brought to the table, not only are you a brilliant strategist, but you're a technical whiz. I mean, that's your educational background. So bringing in this robust AI interactive platform with all these amazing analytics was an incredible growing experience for me. So I think we just brought so many different things, but I often wonder, and it's not saying it wasn't great, but I always wonder, what if women really understood what collaboration is?
Yeah, and can I say this as
Yeah.
well? Because, like, even for me, Lawana, it was, when I heard what I heard, it was about, let me get behind Lawana, and let's push, what I'm saying, let's push her, let's push this to a whole nother level, right? Let's push, celebrate you, and what you're doing with the women. Like, we're being celebrated for, the gifts that we bring to the world. So let's take it up a notch. Let me push Lawana, right? Let me push her, and let me push with the Celebrate You community. And that's every woman on the platform. Like, that would have, I'm saying, that coming into that alignment with that particular, with that particular motive, with that particular aspect, let us push this to a whole nother level. Here is an organization that's celebrating women for their greatness, that is currently celebrating me for the things that I do. Now let me come behind her and do something even greater. Now let's celebrate her by pushing a whole nother new initiative, right? A new
Yeah.
initiative for her, but at the same time, it's a new initiative that celebrate her, but also give that give our gifts even additional exposure. If that was not a win-win, Lawana, I don't know what was.
But sometimes, Dr. Derashay, we become blinded because we're like, well, but I'm doing this over here, and I don't want to put a lot of effort over here because this is mine over here. But if you know who you're yoked with, so like if you understand the mission of Celebrate You as an example, then you know 9 times out of 10, you never see me on that platform promoting anything about me or my business. It's all about the women. So
Mhm.
why wouldn't you do as you said? Let's get behind it because it further just exposes you. There's other opportunities, but again, we can become blinded. We can allow fear to really undergird our responses or lack of responses to something. And I was talking to an individual, and um, I we were talking about the promotion of the event, and um, she was saying that I had my own event, and I said I get it. I have another event coming up. I said, but what if you had leveraged that event,
Mhm.
not ignored it, not stopped efforting for your event, but leveraged it. So at the end of your event or as you're promoting it, oh, and by the way, you can see me again. It's all about you. I said,
Exactly.
how did you miss the connection with you were the thread in all of this? It was you. You're going to be here. You're going to be there. So that has always baffled
It brings what for those who don't understand the power of collaboration that way is that you leverage because that could have been a leverage of credibility, right? That you could have leveraged that as a space of credibility. And it, we now let's just we all know what happens at events, right? And
me.
we all
Yes.
know what we have an end in mind. And the end in mind is usually purchase products or services that I have. That's the bottom line, right?
Right.
But when you can leverage like credibility when people are seeing you in collaboration, speaking on other stages, and we talk about an international women's stage, right? As well, that listen, anybody that may have had some doubt in the mind while they was at your event, like that is the icing on the cake to help build or help them come to a place of security from a credibility standpoint from what it is that you offer. So like that was a whole missed opportunity.
It was. So, and then I'll talk about another opportunity that if I hadn't continued the conversation, I wouldn't have Barbara Beckley as a business partner today. And sometimes you never know how God is going to weave your and intersect your path with someone.
Right.
She and I had been at an event, didn't have an opportunity to talk to one another. We're leaving the event. We take a shared taxi. Again, it's like we're both thinking, let's split this cost and get to the airport. But in that short taxi ride, there was a conversation where we knew there was a complement of synergies there. And when we parted ways, she said, let's stay in touch. I said, I will. I hope you do. Who would have known fast forward that she is my business partner. She is the co-founder of Celebrate You.
Look at that.
30 minute car ride.
And you just never know. Again, you're right. You just never know, and you just never know who's in the room or who's in your sphere of influence, right? That could be the game changer or have the key to the next. And I'm always king about that, and that is something that that I'm always speak about. And so that is a missed opportunity, as well. And so since you said that, I'm going to say it's okay for because we on Raw Talk.
Well, Raw Talk.
We on Raw Talk, you guys. I've been doing conferences like since 2012 at least. Okay, on my own, right? I did it at the college, at university, and corporate. I put conferences and stuff together, since '09, or what have you, and not just local. National as well. So what I'm saying is this. One of the things, Lawana, is when people just show up, speakers, all right, speakers just show up for their conversation and they miss the networking opportunity for those in the space. Listen, that is a miss. That is another missed opportunity that I've seen over the years. That happen when people just show up just for themselves. When there's other people, whether they're on the stage or in the audience, that could be your key to your next, that open the door for you. I've been in many places and spaces, LaWanna, where I've met a lot of amazing people who have had the next key, the door for me to walk through, to help fulfill a portion of the things that I've been dreaming about, the things that I have been having vision about. And it was a piece that I was missing that I needed, and they had it. And so I just want to encourage, since we are talking about, and guess
Nice.
what? That's a great collaborative. We on collaboration, right? And so in those spaces are great collaboration opportunities. And then you don't know, because you're in it, you're just in it for a moment and then you're right out as soon as you're done. Who in the room wanted to have conversation with you, but you were so preoccupied on you that you miss other type of collaborative opportunities, whether it was business partnership, whether it was a client. You never know, because you didn't take the time to be in a place to foster relationship, right? That could be the door to your next. Back over to you.
No,
That wasn't on the
I
agenda,
agree,
but
and I think for me, one of my pet peeves is someone who comes not in their truth,
mm,
meaning they have an ulterior motive. I can deal better with you telling me, look, I'm coming because I'm trying to tap into this market, or I'm trying to get this type of client. Okay, then we can work with that.
right.
Let's talk
I
about
agree.
strategy and
I
how
agree.
we can create the introductions.
I agree.
But we still, at the end of the day, need to talk about the win-win if you're
Right.
going to be on my stage, right?
Absolutely. You said something very key, because listen, if this is the space, because it is about win-win. And if this is what you were looking for, then okay, this is what you're looking for. So let's see how we can work together to build in what you're looking for, but what it is that we're doing, right? And who knows, what you're looking for may already be there as well. But because you was never authentic about you, then we never got the opportunity to even show you how to bridge the gap.
Exactly. And often, so when we think about collaboration, sometimes individuals can be very short-sighted. They just see it as this moment in time, this event, this activity. But again, we're strategists, so we've already seen, as Dr. Derashay said, the end in mind, and we're backing up. This is the tip of the iceberg.
Listen, we're trying to figure out we're looking at how to get you into other countries, okay? Physical places, that's what I'm saying. In physical places like this conference, it was very intentional. You may not know the end game, but it was strategically intentional. And as I hope that every conference, that people do, is strategically intentional. And so you got to understand that, especially when, so when you're coming to the table, you never know where it can end you. So you want to come with like your A game. You want to come with your A game, and you want to be a team player. Collaboration means you must be a team player, LaWanna. You gotta be a team player, and it can't be, and it's not an I in team. So it cannot just be about you. And even if you needed other ways, or you wanted to like strategize, well, how can I got this, and that? What type of ways, or what things that I can implement to help to make this a whole complementary piece, right? I'm sure LaWanna or myself or even Barbara would have been willing to have a conversation. Okay, you got A, B, C, D going on. So let's see how to merge E, so that we can make sure that you're not overwhelmed, you're not this, not that, there's nothing clashing, but that everything is flowing just like the river, right? You're in the midst of strategists. So leverage, that's the other thing, leverage what's available. So I think that's something something else that people miss out on when you don't leverage what's available to you. And it's okay if you don't have the answers. If I don't have the answer, LaWanna don't have the answers. Listen, it's okay if I don't have the answers. Like, LaWanna, do you got the answers? This is it, right? If LaWanna don't have the answers, then especially doing with the text stuff or whatever, like, what's the answer, right? And
Exactly.
we just solve and we bounce off. We bounce off one another with solutions for the bigger picture. And it was available even for every individual speaker as well.
Yeah. You said something and it made me think about when you said that there's an opportunity, or there was an opportunity for individuals to have networked, met other people. And at this event, my mom was there. And my mother is a just an amazing wealth of information. She has spoken on many stages. She's developed events like this and bigger. And to have her there in the audience, not only watching us with, I know, the pride that she had, but she was also looking with that mentoring eye.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why it was important for me to bring her up to speak to the audience. I'm thinking, how many of you have been mentored by someone that's seasoned in life,
Right.
that's in the industry, who is still mentoring, who's still coaching? It's not, there are not a lot of them running around doing that.
At all.
It's like, been there, done that, I'm done. But she's still in the fight because she believes in what the next generation has going for them. And so even with that, I just encourage anyone in any collaborative relationship, or just anytime you're in someone's presence, realize that's that unique life that crossed your path, may never cross your path again. Why don't you pause and find yourself being interested in who they are, why they are serving? Because you never know what golden nuggets they will impart in you, that then in turn makes you interesting,
That's good. That's
right?
good.
Well, Dr. Derashay, we're almost out of time. I want to take myself down so that you can speak to the audience.
This is my heart. It's my heartbeat, because this is where I get to do what I absolutely love to do, which is train. So the purpose of the Kingdom Strategy University is to recruit, equip, and mobilize individuals around the world in their purpose, and of course through the word of God as well. And so we get the amazing opportunity to receive students and release kingdom ambassadors. So we are an accredited entity where we are able to offer up to PhDs in ministerial degrees. Okay, in ministerial degrees, but we also teach in business and in business and personal development as well. So and in life management as well. So we have various different courses and programs that is available for individuals to take. Any training that you've ever received from myself as the Kingdom Strategist, it is right under the Kingdom Strategist University. It's right under there. It's in there. Because we are definitely leading the way and sending forth kingdom ambassadors around the world, whether it's in ministry, whether it's in the marketplace, and whatever it is that one has been chosen or one has been called to do. And so, we've been doing this since about 2000. I think it's been like 2000 and maybe 13. We just got accredited in 2020. Woo for that. Woo for that, because that's very, very major, or that was very, very major for us. We do facilitated courses, and that's anyone that's doing a live training with me or one of our instructors. Let me not forget about that. And we also have self-paced courses as well. And so one of the things that we also decided to do under the Kingdom Strategy University, especially on our business side as well, or life management side, is to when people are doing their training courses or classes or what have you, because we have classes and we have courses, so you can take individual classes and courses from us, is to make sure that everyone is awarded a certificate from the university, just depending on what it is, what course or program that they're offering under the business. Now, under the ministerial side, everyone always get a certificate, or if they're in one of the diplomas program, which we're that portion that we're rolling out because we've been accredited for it now, that they do get those degrees for it as well. So usually we used to just only give out certificates and diplomas, but now on that ministerial side, we'll be giving out degrees over there as well, given that one completes the curriculum that's necessary for it as well. One of the other things that I love about it, and you guys are kind of hearing this first here, as well, is that one of the things that we're implementing and we're hoping to have implemented by the end of the year or put in place by the end of the year, where we're going to offer where other coaches or other individuals that train and teach, where they're able to come under our entity and now offer certificates under their training and development that they have, so that they can have a university backing them. So I'm excited about that. Listen, we're always about looking to see how we can assist individuals in ministry and in marketplace to help further develop what it is that they are doing. So I'm excited about that, because that gives a whole nother level of credibility and accountability as well, under with another coach or what have you within their program, and what it is that they're offering, and how they're serving and showing up in the world. So that's something else that I'm excited about, the Kingdom Strategy University. You can always go to kingdomstrategyuniversity.com. You can go there and find information about us. Now, let me just do forewarn you, on that particular site, you're going to find more of the ministerial side over there. With the business component, they are working on getting together our scheduler so that people can go and just grab those business classes that's over there. So that's going to probably be up in about the next 2 weeks, because I had to get them exactly who, what, when, where, and what was going on. But we have some amazing facilitators as well, myself, and I have two other facilitators right now that teaches on that platform. LaWanna, who are you?
No, that's exciting. And see, this is an example. You never know what someone is doing. So again, having the conversations, leaning in, getting involved, asking the right questions. It's like, wow, for those who might have been who attended the conference or spoke at the conference, did you know that it's also being backed under the greater umbrella of the Kingdom Strategist firm, a university? Think about that message. Think about the branding. Think about how that makes a press release that much more interesting.
Yes.
When you can attach your name and say, look at what this is. So where you may think something is small or oh, it's just a regular conference. Again, until you see the site, you really don't know. Mm-hmm. So if you don't know, it's good to have the conversation, especially if you know who's leading and directing and producing a particular event. But collaboration is not just for an event. It's anything that you might be doing in life and in business. And as Dr. Derashay says, we can go far by ourselves, but we can go farther together. And that's an African proverb. So let's go farther together. Let's unite our voices, our talents, our skills, our experiences, and help to elevate all of humanity. And speaking of which, I need to show this video, if it's okay, Dr. Derashay,
yes.
before we sign off. And this is from Help Heal Humanity, who Dr. Derashay and I decided that we were not going to take these proceeds from the admission tickets from the event and put it in our pocket, but instead we were turning it back to where it could do an even greater good globally.
Another collaborative,
and that's with Help Heal Humanity. So I'll show you what they're all about.
For the past 5 years, Help Heal Humanity has successfully run an elementary school in Canaan, Haiti. Due to COVID-19, the political unrest, and the recent earthquakes, food is scarce. The students attending our program are coming to school starving, and therefore causing a disruption in their academic goals. We need your help, now more than ever, to provide these students with the nourishment they need to continue their education. Our goal is to raise $100,000 so we can feed 100 kids lunch daily and send them to school in the upcoming year. Thank you for your support.
Oh my goodness, Dr. Derashay, this has been wonderful. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me. It has been amazing. Thank you so much. And I just thank the Business and Raw Talk, Financial Raw Talk family as well, just for having this moment in conversation with me.
Thank you. Well, to our E360 TV audience, those of you that are watching on Facebook or on any of our other streaming platforms, thank you so much for joining me and Dr. Derashay today. And we ask you to join us every week on E360 TV at 6 p.m. on Tuesday. Follow me, follow Dr. Derashay on all things social media. My handles are below. We've put Dr. Derashay's information in the ticker, so we're easily Googleable, right? Or
Yes.
you can find us. It's not difficult to find who we are. And I just want to close with what I always say. Just remember that in life and in business, when your vision intersects with opportunity, that collaborative moment, that divine moment in time, and you take it, success is inevitable. Until next week, bye everyone.